对，然后他们的概念。Okay. Hello, Jamie and Gideon. Can you say hi to everyone?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Good to see all of you.
Okay. So can you
maybe before I say the book,
Yes.
The Microscopic Images, you remove the blue sheet of paper on the cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you remove that, just the blue sheet, yeah. Yeah, then you can actually open it all the way.
Okay.
The cover you can open.
他们刚刚说希望可以把那个纸拿下来，因为设计师觉得就是不想要它被凹到，所以有点想要把它拿那个让它可以平整的在那里。对，我觉得这个蓝色的纸也非常漂亮，它就很巧妙的，就是夹在那个夹子上面。对，所以很不错。好，do you want to briefly introduce this book?
Yeah, I can. Actually, you thanks for the introduction. I hope I can. I wish we can speak Mandarin that well and introduce ourselves, but we can't. And you've already described quite a lot about the artist and the book. Maybe I'll fill in a bit more. So these are images that the artist have created in order to draw scientific illustrations for those to be published in scientific journals and so on.
所以这本书它是说，就是这个是艺术家他就是有的这些就是比较偏科学的影像的作品，然后他就是把它们就是都集结起来，然后变成这一本书。
Yeah, so they are originally images meant for studying and observing the parts and the forms of plants. So they are not created to look nice. Yeah, they are just incidental images. And she throughout the different years of working as an illustrator, she has gathered, I think, up to maybe even a few thousands. I think there were a few thousands of these images that help her draw the illustrations.
所以这些照片其实它都是一些就是比较偏就是为了研究而做出来去拍摄下来，然后去为了记录这些就是生物的影像，他们不是为了要好看而去就是拍摄的，所以就是其实这本书它很多都是就是比较偏是研究的素材，然后它总共大概收集了可能有2000多张左右。
Yeah, so basically that's what the book is, and the process of the book was we looked at the images together, all of them, and then for us as the designers of the book as well, we just intuitively approach the images. We don't have the knowledge that she has about plants, so we mostly look at its formal or visual qualities.
所以他们就是在做这本书的时候，其实他就是有非常多的照片在他的手上，然后他们就是要去帮他设计这个，然后他需要开始整理这些素材，然后才能把它好好的给呈现在就是那个书上面。So why do you want to work with Loh Xiang Yun? How do you guys meet actually, and then how do you guys work together?
Yeah, sorry that I'm doing most of the talking because I think we're sharing one earpiece, so there's only one mic, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll just be doing most of the talking. For Xiang Yun, we were really curious about her practice because she's trained as a designer, but she's practicing later on as an artist while working as a scientific botanical illustrator. And so we found this combination quite interesting. And actually, most of the artists or authors that we work with, they also have this kind of hybrid practice, something that's in between art and design, for example.
So 以他们会开始合作，是因为罗湘云这个艺术家，他其实也有平面设计的背景，然后但是他更多的是在做绘画跟插画的这个作品， 然后所以他就觉得，他们其实他们的背景有相同，然后他也很喜欢他的作品，所以他们就决定一起合作。
Yeah, and originally we were quite interested in her work as a scientific illustrator, scientific botanical illustrator, because of course the outcome is very precise. It is meant to be very objective because it's science. But we were interested if there was something that is more subjective about. Sorry, let me rephrase. We were interested to find a more subjective entry point to these materials. So the contrast between what it originally was meant for and what it could become, in this case, the book.
所以其实他刚说就是科学的，就是这些照片其实是比较偏是科学的影像，然后所以他们就应该要是非常客观的，然后可能会非常的像就是你会在科学杂志上面看到的照片这样子，然后是比较偏冷静啊，然后很客观的，但是他们又想要把这一种客观的照片变成是主观的一个主体，现在这个书里面，然后就想要去尝试怎么样可以把这些科学影像，然后把它做成书这个媒材，然后可以让大家去翻阅。
Yeah, and to answer your question again, we also wanted to work with her because these materials are already existing. She don't have to go out and take photos just for this work. So most of the time for the books that we make, because we are just two people and we have limited time and resources, we often find contents that are already existing that in some way we can maybe lend some kind of interpretation to it and then give it translate it into a work on its own. So it's something that doesn't require as much time.
I want to check, do you mean these photos she collect this from online or from the books?
She uses so she has actual plant in the Botanical Gardens in Singapore, and she created all these images using the microscope, most of them using the microscope as a way to study the plants before drawing them.
他说这些影像都是那个艺术家罗湘云呢，他就是因为他是一个植物插画家，所以他其实很长的时间都是在那个植物园工作，然后那个 Botanical Garden 就是像很多，因为像新加坡其实有非常多的植物，然后他们的那些植物就是都种得非常漂亮，所以他说这些影像都是他就是在那个植物园里面，然后用那个显微镜，然后去真的用显微摄影，然后实际去拍摄的每一个植物的那个切面跟细节，然后跟它的是非常那个非常生物科技的部分这样 ，OK。
Are your both interesting in this scientific topic? Is that your personal interest? Because it could be so many things you can portray with black and white, risograph. But I feel this one is very expressive.
Yeah, so we were quite curious because there is already a very strong visual quality in the images. It's not intended for it to look beautiful in a sense, but somehow by chance we realized, especially Xiang Yun, she realized that there's these qualities that we can't quite explain in the images that would work well as a photo book, or that would be given, or that could be seen in a different way when it is compiled together intentionally just for looking. Yeah, not for its original purpose, which is for studying and reference.
我刚才问他说，那他这个书，因为他其实这个黑白我觉得印得非常好，然后一定有很多拍黑白照片的人会想要用这种方式来呈现他们的摄影书。然后我问他说，你们特别对这个科学的这种东西感觉到特别美，你有兴趣吗？还是为什么会做这个题目？然后他们就说，他们并不是说真的觉得这个东西很漂亮，或是这个东西怎么样，但他们觉得这个东西它本身被这样呈现出来，它就具有它特别的一种气质，然后它并不是单纯为了 美学的目的而诞生的，可是它某程度上呈现这样气质。
I'm also curious because you kind of emphasize like these images are not meant to be looking good, but this book is really beautiful. I think it's good, very good looking. How do you see about this?
I have to admit that yeah, you're right, and I don't know what to say. It wasn't the intention, but I think maybe because of the texture of the riso print as well as the layout, it became something more than what we originally expected, and I think that was also what the artist was quite happy with.
OK， 我刚刚问他的问题其实有一点那个有点好笑，因为我跟他说，因为他其实刚刚在讲的时候都在说，他就是这些科学的影像并不是为了好看而拍摄的。但是我说，可是你把这些你觉得没有很好看的影像做得超级漂亮的，而且这整本书很漂亮，那你怎么看？然后他刚刚就很尴尬的说，我不知道该怎么回复。I think I just say thank you because it's a compliment.
Thank you.
But for example, this one of the things is also about the plant in the city, right? For example, this one. So that's why I'm curious, like, as we talked before, there's lots of plants like in portrait in the Fotobook. And for example, in these two perspectives, they're all related to plant. For you, are they have some mysterious like relation, or it's just like personal interest? I think I'll translate my own self first. 所以我刚才问他说，我问 Jamie 和 gideon 就是他们的这本书其实是植物的，很微观的植物，然后这本书其实也是有关于植物的。那这两本书都是有关于植物，那对他们而言，这两本书有什么关联吗？或是没有
I think if there is a connection, it's not intentional. So for the smaller book, the Performing Cityscapes, it's part of a project that we, as designers, we document things that we see day to day in the streets. And most of the time, again, these are improvised behaviors. They are spontaneous. They are appropriating structures in the city for other users. So, for example, in the plant one, I think an auntie elderly was using a bush to put her phone. I don't know which page it is. There are no page numbers, so I'm not sure if you can find it. But yeah, so there are these like kind of unexpected ways of using things that are in the city that we find interesting as product designers. So I would say maybe there is not much of a connection, but still maybe plants is a recurring thing titles because there are a few others also that deal with this with very different intentions.
他说这个就是这一本小本的，其实是叫 Forming Cityscape， 叫做城市塑形。然后他这一本书拍了很多的植物，然后刚刚君叶就是问他说，他觉得这两本植物的关联是什么？然后其实他刚解释的是说，这一本小的这一本书是有点像是他路边的观察，然后像是他刚刚说有一页是就是大家怎么样子跟植物去做互动，然后现在植物在我们的生活之中的，就是变成什么样子的一个角色吗？然后因为像有一个阿姨，她就是用那个植物的当做是那个晒衣服的东西，然后好像是有一个图片是就是有一个树丛，然后阿姨就把那些锅具放在那个上面，然后沥干这样子，所以她觉得这个人跟植物的互动就是变得很有意思。I think we are not yet in the images.
We're trying to look for it. But
Which?
okay, what is the?
And it's okay.
I think I remember the images. It's a bush.
Like this one.
Yeah, and it's very low resolution. So that's also something about this book. We're not so concerned about the sharpness or the resolution. It's really more of quick observations. They are snapped done using our methods.
所以他说，就是像这本书，其实比较多的是，就是在路边他看到，然后就马上拍摄，并不是说，也不是说，就是真的这个照片是他就是做的一个摄影作品，然后要拍得多好看这样。然后像你现在可以看得到的这个，就是是竹林吗？ Is it a bamboo tree or palm tree?
No, the palm tree.
Palm
Palm
tree.
tree, OK， 椰子树，所以就是在椰子树上面，然后大家有人就是在晾那个他们自己的鞋子，然后鞋子就把它挂在树上让它晒干，然后旁边看起来应该像是毛巾，也就是搭在那边。Is it like a towel on the right side? 对。
So you keep mentioning because we all know you both are all designers and you're also bookmakers. And I'm curious because you have those small things like represent your perspective as designer. So is that designer perspective means something to you when you make the book? And can you elaborate what exactly it is? 所以我就问他们说，因为他们两个设计师，其实做书的人有很多种，他们是设计师那一种，然后他们很常会讲到他们是设计师，会有一种设计师的面向。例如他们做这2本有一点小文定，就是在讲设计师对城市的不同的观察。那我很好奇，身为就是设计师跟独立出版人这2种角色有什么样的区别？那用这种设计师的角色去跟大家讲话，就是做这2本定呢，对他们来讲有什么用意？
Maybe one of the difference, it's a joke, but book designers get paid to make books, but publishers pay to make books.
Very practical. 他刚刚说最简单基础的方式就是区分方法，就是设计师就是设计书，然后出版社就是付钱。
Yeah, but anyway, it's I realized after you pointed out that sometimes we're talking about the design of the book, or maybe from a designer's perspective. I think for us to a large extent, design is also content. So that means the form of the book, the choice of the paper, the way it's laid out, it is also content. It communicates, and what that means is if attention isn't given to the design, it might contradict what the work actually communicates. So for us, it becomes unintentional.
所以他刚刚说，作为设计师，他就是必须要去选择怎么样子是对的纸材，然后他的书的就是形式要是什么样子啊，然后要怎么样去设计这一本书，并不是只是为了美观上面，然后也要就是要让就是这整个就是设计的就是书长的样子，然后要跟这个书作品的概念要符合，所以这个就是也是非常重要的。
Yeah. Maybe also that there isn't much of a difference as publishers. We sometimes like to test ideas that normally wouldn't be accepted in publishing. For example, having a book published, but in every copy, it's a different page, so it's random. That's something that we also. Another one is we publish 2 versions of the same title, but one is easier to understand, in shorter form. One is longer, it's the original thesis. But they communicate the same contents, but in different forms.
所以他们曾经出版过的有2种，就是也是非常的搞纲的，就是一个是每一本书都有不同的那个编排顺序的，然后另外一种是就是他们有出的2个版本，然后2个版本也是长得完全不一样的。
Yeah.
So I think designers, as a book designers, you work a lot with the limitations, and also I think because you have both roles in 2 of you, like you're both publishers and designers, and so you must be work on a lot of like limitations about like the budget and the papers, and so it's kind of a constraint of like you need to make a good quality within a very limited budget. So how do you see about this? these limitations?
Yeah. So limited something we work with quite a lot. Mainly because we don't have much budget, and these are not tied to institutions. These books, they are often published independently. And so, like maybe a very good example is the three publications that are on the table now. They are all just printed in black, which is actually the first research machine we have, and it's just A4 size, black ink only. And we started out with that for I think 1 or 2 years.
所以他说，就是因为也是有预算限制的问题，然后他们像这2本书其实都是用黑色，就是单色的 Riso 油墨去印刷的，所以相对的，他在控管那个预算的成本上面就会可以比较低一点这样。
Oh yeah, even after we got colored inks, so a friend passed us a machine with two drums and colored inks. We still realized we still produce quite a lot of titles just using black, simply because it's efficient and it keeps costs low.
所以他说，其实就算他们就是有在进了其他的彩色的油墨，但他们还是比较喜欢就是用黑白的 Riso 印刷来去印这个。
I have a question actually related to what you say. So you say that you use black and white in the beginning for the practical reason, but I feel like it's a little bit like black and white photo, like photographer chooses for a reason. And what exactly are the reason you use black and white to express this kind of photos and color for the other kind?
我有个问题，就是摄影师很多人都会坚持只用黑白的摄影拍照，然后我很好奇，就是对 Jamie 跟 Gideon 来说，他使用黑白的 Risograph 的印刷有没有任何特别用意，是跟有些坚持只用黑白照片的摄影师是有关联的？但是像他们其实是说，他们是因为很实际成本的原因，所以用黑白的墨水。但我觉得也不可能有别的原因。
Yeah. The first reason is of course constraints, like what you said. But actually over here, a lot of photographers prefer color. Yeah, they want their images in color, and Riso is something that they are not so open to because of the texture it is, the way it distorts the image. So, and the way it cannot actually accurately capture color. So over here, for some reason, people are not so open to, at least photographers. And for us, it's often whether the medium fits the content. So, like in this case, they were originally very glossy, wet-looking images. When we printed them with the Riso and in black and white, suddenly they take on this other quality which we really like. So in that sense, both the artist and us, we agreed that the Riso is an appropriate medium for this. And of course, we can't print in color. It wouldn't be accurate. And we just stick to black and white for this. So if I can answer you in very simply, whether the black and white is appropriate for the content.
所以他刚刚说，就是其实很多的摄影师并不是很想要印 Riso， 因为 Riso 其实有一个还蛮强烈的性格，然后它其实没有办法让影像可以变得就是像摄影师用比如说数位相机拍照的那个样子那么清晰，所以其实他说反而是他们会一直想要说服摄影师去用一些比如说彩色的啊，然后或者是用不同的印刷方式来去试他们的照片。然后，例如像是他举例，就是这一本那个 Microscopic Images 的照片，其实一开始他们拿到的时候都是比较偏，就是很华亮，很光亮，然后又很就是他说很湿，很那个 很湿润、很花亮、光亮的那个照片啊，但是因为 Riso 的这个黑白的这个效果，让它印出来之后变得就是反而很跟这整个书的调性非常的结合，然后他们跟那个艺术家讨论都是觉得这是一个非常满意的结果，所以他们也觉得说，其实印刷方式跟书的内容其实应该是要是契合的，然后就算是用 Riso 可以节省成本，但他们也觉得它应该要去符合这本书的那个这本书的概念。Okay, so we are about to ask our last questions. Do you have anything ongoing, the project or the book going to release soon?
We just opened an exhibition initiated by ABC Art Book Fair from China, the book Nomad project.
Yeah.
So it's happening in the space now. We've also been doing these open book sessions. I think I told you before, where we invite designers and then they will come and share knowledge about bookmaking, the technical side of things, the practical side of things, so that more people are given access to be able to print in larger quantity.
好，我刚刚问他们说，就是你们现在有没有在进行的计划，或者是即将要发行的新书呢？然后他们就说，他们现在在跟那个北京的 ABC 艺术书展，他们有一个合作叫做游牧计划。然后其实木书计划 ，sorry， 木是游牧的木。然后因为现在就是 ABC 他们这个计划是从他们的书展开始，然后好像是从7月的时候，然后8月的9月上个月的时候，9月的时候就刚好在棚丁，然后棚丁结束之后就是换这个 temporary press 的空间叫 temporary unite， 然后他们会在这边展出，然后这个计划就是这些书一箱一箱的书会被打包，然后送到下一个城市，然后下一个城市的书店会再继续加他们那个国家他们推荐的书，他们喜欢的创作者的书，然后再换到下一个城市，然后下一个城市还会有再跟你加入更多的书，所以这一箱一箱的书会自己旅行到各个不同的国家去，然后那个他们现在就是在做的那个 Open Book 计划也是Open Book 的那个讨论会工作坊也是，就是他们想要大家一起来讨论，就是印刷的一些就是实物的知识啊，就比如说去哪里印刷会比较好看啊，然后哪一些对店家你会推荐去哪里装订啊，这些就是非常难得可以讨论到的一些就是资讯，对，所以我们觉得非常有意思。好。I think we are going to wrap up this session. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gideon.
Yes, thank you very much.